I'm Dwayne here. We're Growing Together Nursery. And what a gorgeous day it is here in North 9B. The sun is out. The birds are chirping. Got some squirrels in the back. Whew, beautiful day over here. But today, I wanted to talk to you about what are we to do about these brown thumbs, black thumbs in the population. I get hit up all the time. And I ask people, hey, you know, one of the biggest rebuttals that we get here for not growing your food or not wanting to invest in fruit trees, herbs, food forest favorites, all this fun stuff is, well, Dwayne, I have a black thumb / brown thumb. I can't grow. I've tried it before in the past. It didn't work. Woe is me. I can't grow. Oh man, I kill everything. And it's like, man, if I would have been able to get to them before, it would be so much easier, right? Because I am a firm believer that it isn't you per se, it is where you're getting your trees or plants from. I know it's a tough conversation to have. I'm not blaming the whole industry, but there is some tips and tricks to being able to continue to keep these baby girls nice and green and alive, right? So I've been gardening off and on, I'd say total 10 years, but really serious the past 4, like every day, full time, right? So here's my couple of cents to go ahead and help you to keep your trees from flopping over on you or having to kill these herbs or whatnot that you may be purchasing out in the world, and then you find out, oh man, I'm gonna quit gardening because everything tends to die. Well, I will say this: how that plant or tree is started is everything in this industry. So in my honest opinion, this is just my 2 cents, this is my opinion. By all means, do your own research, listen to whoever you please. But what I have noticed, and I think I'm a decent grower, but whenever I buy from certain places, big box stores, then yes, they tend to go through withdrawals. They will flop over on me, and if you don't give them their fix, then out they go, which is unfortunate because there's your hard-earned money going down the drain. Which then you slow down, you say, nope, I tried it once, tried it, twice, and not going to get me again. Which I get it. That's the way that it should work, right? But what I've picked up is how you start them and where you're purchasing your trees from. What you're, again, adding on to that tree has everything to do with it. There's a lot of misinformation in this game. A lot of, hey, we just do, give them some sun and some water and off they go. You don't have to do too much. You do have to feed them. If they're being grown in a container, if they're being fed, there's many different ways, all right? Many different variables in this growing game. In containers, you have to be the caretaker. You have to give them the water, give them the food, give them the proper light by putting them in the right position. Everything matters in a container. If it dries up, you're going to lose your tree, right? Or plant or herb, whatever it is that you're growing. Keeping it watered, how much water, the whole entire gamut, okay? Here at the nursery, we only give them well water. So none of these trees have ever had any chlorine on the leaves, in the roots, nothing like that. So that is one thing, okay, that if you were to go ahead and purchase a tree or a plant from a place, maybe they're on well water, then you take them over to your city water, you give them that harsher water, if you will, and they go through a little quick plant or a quick shock, right? They're going to get sad on you. This is possible. If you wet the leaves, if they've never had it, it could go through a little bit of a sad state. How do you stop that? Well, what they claim is you can't off-gas that chlorine, putting it into a big trash can or something like that, letting it dissipate, and then using that later on. Rainwater is great. There's just a lot of downsides to using city water, to be frank. A lot of different additives. You got no control over it, and filtration can be quite expensive, and so is watering all of your stuff off of it because you're paying more than likely for the sewage as well. But I will emphasize, well water's the best, okay? if you can get your hands on it, utilize it, less additives, the better these trees and plants will like it. What I feed is mainly organic stuff, right? So if you've already been to my nursery, you've already been over here, you know that I walk everyone down through what it is that I feed them, how I water, the whole entire deal. I am an open book, very transparent, because I want you to take these trees, rehome them, either up pot them or put them in the ground, and then show me pictures down the road of saying, look at how fruitful they are. This is great. Thank you so much. That really spreads the word versus, hey man, we went there, his trees flopped over on me, and now, I'm giving him CPR trying to bring him back. That's not the way that I like to do business here. We want you to be successful. Therefore, you'll spread the good word, right? That's usually how I tick and talk here. But I will explain to you which nutrients are being utilized in these. I tell you which tree it is that you're buying. There are different mixes here. There's some that I make myself and some that are bought in. How do you keep these trees alive is very crucial, right? So in these, well, we're in November 1st, right? This time of year, the weather is cooling down. You don't have to stay on top of the water as much, I'll say, as the summer months. Summer months, I'm watering once, twice a day, certain occasions, depending on where they're located. So with these cooler temps comes less evaporation, so you don't have to go ham on the water as much. Excellent for us. We get to go ahead and utilize our time in the right places. But the materials or the soil has a lot to do with it and what is being added in here. Okay. Now, commercially, if you were to go and buy them from big box stores, they are putting the strongest stuff in there to get them the biggest possible in the shortest amount of time. They don't care about you, man. The big box stores don't love you. They love the money. That's it, right? They barely feed them. They barely water them. If they go through withdrawals, they chuck them, get their money back, and that poor thing goes in the trash. I can't do that. That's not how we work over here. We want to go ahead and keep all of our trees nice and lively. That way they can find a great home, maybe your home. But that's the difference between us and them. All of these trees have value. I don't care how big or how small. We'll put them on clearance. You get them for $1, whatever the case may be. All the living things we want to go ahead and produce, right? So I grow my stuff in and what I tell people is low and slow, like barbecue. I don't, and I'm not pushing for this huge growth, real fast growth just to go ahead and pump them full and off you go, because there's a downside to that. Good morning to you. There is a downside to that. If you're pushing them with all of that, I don't want to name names, but the blue stuff, the Smurf P, the Heisenberg, that stuff that's really cheap that you put on everything and you get instant results. Yes, that makes us feel good. Yes, that makes us think that we're the greatest growers on the planet. And man, look at the results. But that's fake, right? I know. Don't tell anybody. But listen, yes, that stuff is a false sense of security. Once you add it, guess what? You have to constantly add it to it. And if you don't, that's where she goes sideways. And then you feel like a bad grower / gardener, right? That's what these companies are normally feeding their trees, right? So they are starting them in this harsher stuff because, man, this is about the loot, right? Don't get it twisted. For most people, this is the end game, right? And that is time, right? So are you going to wait 2 years, 3 years to let it naturally get this big, or is most places going to go ahead and dump that rocket fuel in here to get it stretched out nice and big? And then you look at it and you're like, wow, that's great. And then you take it home. You don't ask what they're feeding them. They don't tell you what they're feeding them because you're not privy to that type of fertilizer. It's a stronger type of fertilizer. You're, brand new to the game. You take it home. Great. Oh man, I'm just going to give it some sunshine and some water. And then what happens? That thing starts looking sad. The tips start turning colors. The leaves are going south. And then now you're playing the dancing game of more water, more sun, less, you're putting it around and, oh, what are you doing? You're talking to it, trying to make it feel better. And this thing is just going down. You feel bad. And then now you don't want to go ahead and grow anymore. It's a spiral, folks, and it happens. I hear it all the time. I quit because I kill too much. And it's like, come to me, let me help you out. We'll get you growing some good organic trees. Now, I use that word very loosely, organic like, right? But low and slow, anyone can do this. Listen, you don't need to go ahead and start with a ton of plants or trees or nothing like that. You start small, start with a couple of them, get the feeding down, right? When I first started into this game, I figured, hey, I can go out and buy a bunch of stuff, and as long as I keep it alive, then we'll be good, right? There's a difference between staying alive and actually thriving. Can you keep trees alive? That's one thing. But actually making them grow and making them thrive in a container, that's where the real skills happen, right? Because we're doing it naturally, right? And low and slow. Because even though you may not be able to tell, there's a lot of experts, a lot of pros that have been in this game a long time that once you look at the trees or the plants, you can tell. You know, and now that I'm in the game a little bit longer, I can tell exactly how they're fed. Whenever I go someplace, I'm like, I will stay away from that, or I will buy the seeds and do it myself here, because there's nothing worse than getting those calls or texts of saying, what's wrong? Why is it flopping over? Help, help, help. And it's something that's out of my control. You know, I tell you exactly what it is that I'm feeding here, and if it's from me or if it's from someone else. If it's from someone else, definitely go ahead and give it some fertilizer. I try to feed here on a weekly basis, and that's because we have lots, right? I have the nursery side out here. Everything's in pots, and I also have my collection in the back over there. If you're new, I will show you around. If you've seen this before, then you already know. But once a week, I put on the backpack sprayer. I'm feeding them organic stuff like sea kelp and fish emulsion, which excellent for most of this stuff. Most of this stuff loves it. It's not going to make it expand too big, because you can, especially at Jabo. This is the red hybrid Jaboticaba. If you were to go ahead and give these some strong fertilizers, they're going to make these trees look ugly. Okay, they go from nice, cute, little like bonsai-esque trees to totally stretched out limbs looking lanky like Stretch Armstrong, and it's a bad look. You can get the same look for mangoes and avocados, and there's nothing worse than looking at a dwarf tree, and when you're looking at it, it looks like, you know, it's ready to bear fruit, and you know that it was done wrong. Anyways, there's many ways to feed these trees without having to break the bank. Fertilizers have gotten more expensive. I don't know if you're buying them or if you know the game or not, but the game has gotten more expensive. So here we're trying to find out how to grow them, not just to keep them alive, but how to make them thrive on the cheap. That's why we want to go ahead and feed them. Hang on here. Feed them these excellent. And if you just saw the video last week, then you already know. But listen, man, I want to emphasize the importance. Actually, let me do it this way. The importance of proper fertilization. And less is best, folks. You do not have to go out there and give them the strongest stuff. You know, this isn't one, it's not a race, right? A lot of people are like, I gotta hurry up and get my trees just as big and I'm gonna get fruited. They start jacking them full of this and putting all that in there. You're gonna get some bad results, and you're creating an addict, right? I know some people don't care and they're like, I'll just keep hitting it every week. That's your prerogative, you do you. But here we want low and slow. What do we feed them? Fish and kelp. It's basically the same in here. This is just organic kelp. Fish and kelp mix. Not sponsored by these people. I spray them weekly here. I give some into the roots, and I also spray it on a foliar feed. Yes, I will tell you this. Not my master mix, but from what I hear, the best mix to go ahead and feed on a foliar spray, according to Mr. Gary from Laguna Hills Nursery, check him out, is fish kelp, fish emulsion, sea kelp, and molasses. Those three together, you know, I don't use the molasses because of the ants back here, but that's what they claim. It soaks up the best amount of nutrients through the leaves, and it does feed the tree very nicely. Now, I have the molasses. I very rarely use it because I've used it and the ants go nuts. I do have some better solutions for the ants now, so maybe this next year I will try that. But that's what I feed them here. Now, why do I use the liquid stuff? Because Kiwi doesn't eat it. I just had a friend come over, customer, thank you, who gave me some bunny berries or bunny poop. So I was like, yeah, I was excited. I went out and started distributing them into my potted mangoes because I'm trying it, and also into the ground. So I went out there and she gave me a nice little bag I showed y'all, and went out there and started spreading it around. Well, this little dog comes over and starts eating it off the ground and out of the pots. So there goes another failed experiment. She looks great. She's well fertilized now, hopping around. But my plants and trees don't have that anymore. So if you're listening to this, by all means, bring me some back. Bring me some more and I'll hook you up. But yeah, she ate most of it. I can't stop that. Or I can, but she is a machine out here. She's always eating. Now, I do give them the liquids for this reason. Because when I give them any Espoma products, she's chasing a squirrel, any Espoma products, they love. She eats all of this stuff. Both dogs will, squirrels, rats, all of it will eat these Espoma products because they're organic. Can't find this in big box stores. Okay, this, I will say this. I will mix this into my peat moss and perlite. And I love this product for that. This is what I start all of my seeds with. This is, well, this or Hollytone mixed in there. It's Adam's mix, but Plant Tone works very well. Again, mix it into it. If I go ahead and I just put it on the top, she will devour all of it, and she's growing like a weed, huh? So I guess it's working, but it is organic. But guess what? When you have this, the bigger the system you have, the more it's going to take to fertilize them, right? Because now you're having to fertilize weekly or however you do it, bi-weekly, or some of y'all just do it twice, 3 times a year. It gets quite expensive, folks. So when I first got into this, I was just like, give them water, give them sunshine. And the trees are hanging in there, right? They're just barely hanging in there. But I'm thinking, hey, I'm keeping them alive. Therefore, we're growing, right? Difference between alive and thrive, folks. Hey, my gosh, she's always at it. This is why can't have nothing nice. Hey, thanks for tuning in, folks. She's doing her job and chasing all of these wonderful squirrels. And now she loves, hey. She likes the moringa trees because these squirrels will climb up there and basically run from tree to tree. They will be getting chopped down here shortly just for that reason. She sits underneath here and just barks crazy. Yeah, it's a problem. But listen, folks, I am a one-man band out here fertilizing and keeping all of these plants and trees alive. All, I would say most. We do have ours that go down, you know. There's some trees that you can't fix. You can't save them all, right? But plants will let you know whenever they're going through it. If they got a bad leaf, if they got some sort of fungus or a pest inside of there, it's going to let you know. You're going to be able to see it if you are vigilant and you are actually paying attention to your plants. They will let you know if they're happy, right? But it is that I try to give them the liquid feeds just because, one, it's cheaper, 2, it's a lot faster, and Kiwi doesn't eat them. Whoa, getting wrapped up over here. So that is one that I like to go ahead and tell people about, right? Because the last thing I want you to do is to stop growing because things are dying on you or I can't do it. So we grow a lot of this stuff in containers and they will let you know. Now, if you saw the video on Thursday, we got a new system over here that's starting to catch on. And boy, oh boy, am I going to see some results here. I want to do some before and afters on a lot of this stuff to show you of what it looks like. You see how that is a little bit more on the yellow side. You showing that, man? You're not embarrassed by these yellowing leaves? Listen, y'all, this is how this works. I show you exactly what it looks like one week. I give it some juice, you know, good organic juice. And then the next week, you're like, wow, look at that difference. And then whenever I tell you that it's working, you will understand, folks. This, not organic, right? This, we just collected almost 7 pounds of peppers off of this thing yesterday, and it's still holding way more. Like, there's still way more peppers on here. That was just the ripe ones, and almost 7 pounds. So listen, there's a way to do this the natural way, the low and slow method. That way you're not juicing your trees too harshly. That way they don't die on you. They won't flop on you. Everything looks good. I think less is best, but to each his own, folks. To each his own. Could I have these fruit trees in containers stacked full of fruit? Yeah, I could. You would think, man, this guy's the greatest grower ever. He's got, you know, these figs with 50 figs in a pot. And it's like, yeah, I could totally show you how to do that. But then when you take it, right, you take it home, it's fruitful. That year, everything was fine. The figs were great until the next year. And then they weren't. You're asking, where is the figs? How come I'm not getting any fruit this year? That is a problem. Those fertilizers that they come with, that are getting pumped into that tree or to that plant, first year, you're going to think, wow, excellent, sweet. It's happened to me. I was just discussing the Meanwhile kumquats. Same exact deal. First year, plump, juicy, sweet. You're sold on them. You don't fertilize. You just leave them in the ground. That's what I was doing, is just give them the mulch, chop and drop, the whole deal. This year, no bueno, folks. Dry. Went from 20% breaks down to 10% breaks. So am I panicking? No. I am going to feed them. Once again, I gave them a feeding yesterday, and I'll probably do it every 3 days here, just until it starts getting to get pumped, or pump in the good nutrition into the fruit. I want to see if we can get some sweet ones. There are some still working on it, so we're not done. We still got a little bit of time left. What are we doing over here again? So check it out. I just ordered another pump because this one on the very top here, once the clouds come in, it covers them up, the pump will stop. So I ordered 2 of them, 2 of the best ones that we have here, where it does have a battery. The solar charger charges the battery, and then overnight, it'll sit there and pump air into these 5-gallon buckets. Now, what are we talking about? If you didn't catch that Thursday's video, I get it. We're busy. Life gets at us. What we're doing here is we are starting to make our own fertilizer. What? You in the fertilizer business? No, not yet, but pretty soon. I don't know. But I'm experimenting to see exactly how this all shakes out. I'm testing it here before I start running my mouth too much, but I am letting you know, and I've already shown you a couple of people that the results, they're true. They are in. You are the father. No, check it. Like, this is excellent. It's a great solution for people that are not wanting to stay on the fertilizer teat of having to go back, buy more, another bag, wear it down, and now it gets expensive. Not saying everyone should do this. If you're in a tighter spot and you maybe got some neighbors and you're not going to run air into it, I'll say this: it's not a big smell. It doesn't smell like you would think. You would think that this right here bubbling away would have a horrible smell. It's faint. It's probably like a good 3 to 4, but it's not as bad as what it could be. So excellent option for you, for the people that are a little bit, I don't want to say starting off. When you're first starting off, you're just trying to give it the food and whatever water possible. You can start off with with the granules. You can do the sprays. Just keep them going. Get some good harvest. Understand that it's a cycle of, life and death, and that things do die out here, right? But this right here is more for the people that are having, you have a bigger setup, right? And you want to be able to feed them as organic as possible. If you don't care about what it is that you're ingesting, and you just, who cares? You like that plastic taste? Give them whatever you want, right? They will plump up big fruits. Everyone will think you're the greatest. It works, right? I'm sure. A lot of channels are built that way. Me personally, I'm not here for the fame and fortune. I'm just doing this to go ahead and keep myself afloat. This is not my main claim. It is for the moment, but I'm not trying to get fame. I don't care about the likes or the views. Listen, I'm here. If I can help one person, done, right? So this right here, I'm going to start telling everyone about, because it's working. I see the results. There's no money in this for me. You can go out and buy your own setup, use whatever weeds you want. I'm using moringa and Mexican sunflower. I got some biochar, but you don't have to make this complicated. There's many different recipes online where it's 2 ounces of this and that, and you got to spend $1,000. Listen, folks, I started out here with just some water and weeds, and now I'm just putting in a little bit more. But am I going to sit here and look at it underneath the microscope and find out exactly what's in it? Not yet. No, I'm not buying the microscope anytime soon. Down the road, yeah, you can probably look at it and see, oh, this one's more active than that. But as long as I'm seeing good results on the trees, I'm a good, right? So green leaves, bigger branch, bigger fruit and tastier fruit. That's really the way that you'll know if you are winning or losing in this game, right? Are you getting fruit? Is it, grown the best way possible, right? To your ability. Everyone's different. Some people don't care. We all sleep differently at night. Me personally, I want to know that the best thing that's going into me, one, is from here. That way I have confidence in what it's, how it's grown. A lot of places will tell you, and there it is. Hopefully you like that answer. Me, I like to do it myself, have more control. And again, very, very cheap. I would say each bucket, you could probably get down to like 25 bucks, $20 for the aerator, $5 on the bucket, depending on where you go. Food grade buckets, folks, do this. Don't go and buy those blue and orange ones. They don't last, right? In the sun, they're going to become brittle. It'll turn into microplastics, and you're welcome. They'll be all over your yard. I've done that. I still have a couple. I got to throw them away. They're very brittle. They turn to crap really fast. So anyways, now we're working 3 buckets, folks. How exciting is that? I love it. This is the newest little experiment, and here's what we do. So let me back this up just a hair. I was telling you on Thursday that I would I would take about 75% of these buckets, and that's not the case anymore. Now, because I have 3, what I'm going to do is can you dilute this? Yes. If you're starting off and you don't know if it's going to burn your stuff, you can dilute it. My experiment so far has been running it full strength. Just my 2 cents. Have I seen anything burn or, die off? Not yet. Not saying that it's not possible. I'm just saying I haven't seen anything die off. In here, we do have a little bit of water in here, so this one will be diluted. But you can use it however you want. Now, what I'll do is I will literally just pour off. Well, I was about to say you pour off the top, but before you do that, give it a nice stir. Get all that good stuff on the top there. Little stirring stick. I don't actually take out all of the contents just yet. I'm basically just smushing all the grasses and weeds and junk leaves down in the bottom, making a nice little slurry, and then pouring out, I'd say the top 50%. Even if I get the top half with 3, more like 30%, who knows? But all you need, pour off the top. Look at that. Good stuff. And you can put, again, you doctor this solution up to the best of your ability. Whatever you want to use in there, do it. Highly recommended. Experiment. If it doesn't work, you didn't hear it from me. No, I'm kidding. No, it will, for the most part, depending on what you're growing. Now, I wouldn't, here's the warning. I wouldn't use this for stuff that's inside, only because the smell may be off-putting for plants indoors. Now, I don't grow anything indoors, so that's why, I forgot to say that, but I don't grow indoors. I grow everything outside. I ain't got time to grow indoors. I ain't going to sit there underneath LEDs or none of that. But outside is where all the fun is. That's where the fresh air, and that's how we eat the sun, is outside, folks. Get outside. If you ain't outside in this weather right now, when it's 75 here, there's no excuse. All we hear is, it's too hot, it's raining. And then before you know it, it's too cold, can't be outside. There's all these excuses. My goodness. So anyways, so then we'll take the second bucket and we'll pour it in there as well. Don't spill the nectar. Good stuff. And again, all from right here. This all comes from right here. Chop and drop weeds. You can sit here and take more Mexicans and toss them in there. Mexican sunflowers, folks. Sunflowers, right? So take the leaves, put them back in there. Feed some more organic matter to your water. All right, I got moringa over here. Moringa and weeds in a bucket. You can come back, add them in there. I got a stone in there. I got to probably lay them down in there. Anyways, you get the drift. Pour out the water. Put the lids back on. So these gnats, the gnats really do like them to go in there and do their thing. I don't know, lay eggs or eat or drink, whatever they're doing in there. There's a ton of them. So I do close these tops on, but I leave one side open. That way the gas can't escape, but that way it keeps the gnats out as well. Here's my newest one. Let me show you. Let me show you the difference here. Here's my newest one that I just made today. And as you can see through it right now. So just bubbling away. Got the little stone in there to keep it down. But after a while, you'll see it turn dark, right? So that's mulch and roots and all kinds of crap. I put compost in there, and you do it however you want. Listen, when you're starting off, things won't look that great. When you're brand new to this game, you're going to have some yellowing leaves. You're going to have some trees that are not looking the greatest, and you're going to question yourself and say, should I continue or should I quit? Oh, no. Dude, I'm telling you, it happens, okay? All these trees need everything from you. And let me show you. We're going to do it right on the tube. So what I was just showing you there were two CAS trees, CAS. It is the Costa Rican guava. And these aren't looking too great. They've been in pots. I leave them in here. I do give them fish emulsion and sea kelp. And even with that, they're still a little bit on the yellower side. I do have some others here that look way better, but these two on the end, not that great. So, and there's a little bit of a red tinge that's happening on these leaves. Stress, I don't know. But let's find out what happens with one quick little feeding of it. And I got some catcher, like little pans underneath here. That way, it'll hold the moisture. Is that part of it? Maybe it doesn't like to sit in water, but for the most part, guavas haven't been giving me that much of a trouble if I were to let them sit in a little bit of water. Anyways, give them a little bit. We'll let them sit in there, and we're going to tune in, find out if these red spots go away, if it comes back greener and better than ever. This is the best part. Observation will let us know if we're doing something great or if we're killing trees over here, right? But this stuff right here is gold, folks. What else needs it? Everything needs it, right? That's the best part. Is now I just add more water to that. Hang on here. Let me see if I can do this here. Here's another one. This longan. Thank you. We're trying to make the best trees around, my friend. This longan. This longan's been here for quite some time. Don't know what it's still doing here. Y'all are crazy. This should have been rehomed a while ago. Okay. Let's give it a little bit of a drink and watch how this thing peps up too. Telling you, everything that I've used this on, the tree's like, thank you. And how much did you use? Tell us. You got to tell it. Listen, just a touch, right? Maybe 2-3 cups. I don't know. Less is best. You don't want to go ahead and give them way too much, and then there's a problem, Houston. I'd rather not burn my stuff. Here's that achacha, right? Same deal. You saw what they looked like before. Now you'll see what they'll look like after this feeding. Don't need much, just a little bit. Bananas, man, bananas will jump when you give them this stuff. Most of these trees will. Have I burned anything? Not yet. Knock on wood, right? Little bit goes a long way. And trust me, all of y'all can do this. All of y'all can do this. Let me do something like this. And this is what we're going to start doing from now on, is feeding most of these trees this awesome compost tea. Now, why isn't this more popular? I don't know. You know, there's a lot of hippies online that are like, do it, do it. And I guess maybe that's why, you know, it's not the, I'm joking, but a lot of people, they talk down on compost teas, and it's like, I never got into the game until recently. And I was like, man, they made it look so complicated online. You got to have this, you got to have that. Oh man, if you don't do this, and then it's going to die, or your microbes aren't going to be right, and they're going to start a fight in there, and whatever the case is. Have I seen any of that? No, 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 no. I haven't seen any of that. To me, this is very easy, and I should have been doing this a long time ago. Long time ago, folks. Was I born with the green thumb? No. Do I come from a whole family of growers and gardeners? No. Like, my mom and dad did grow. We did have like a little garden, you know, back in the day, but that was a long time ago, and not so much anymore, right? Well, I'll say this, my mom still loves it. She's out here with me. Look at that. Got a little bit of yellowing leaves on a jabo. Give it a hit of this and watch it explode. Test it, give it a hair, come back and take a look. I got a star fruit here with a little bit of this yellowing leaves. Watch this. I'm gonna show you before, and then we'll tune in for an after some other time, but I'll let you know exactly how she looks. Look, I'm not here to hide nothing from y'all. We want to show you the truth here. So this is what she looks like right now. So not totally green. You get those little bit of yellow like lines in there, right? So, oh, that's not good. How do we do that? So, so yeah, not looking 100%. I would still purchase this tree knowing that it is grafted here, and for $30 a carry. Are you kidding me? A GTN exclusive? I wouldn't pass up on that. But check it out. Before you know it, that's all going to turn green. I will show you. I ain't scared, right? I will show you exactly the difference. That's one little bit that I gave it in there. Give it a week, and I will show you what she looks like. But yeah, I just basically go and add more water to it, and off we go. But folks, I am not out here feeding them crazy stuff in the irrigation, which we don't have. I am watering all these by hand, right? So I don't have the time to come out here and give them harsh chemicals. I do love the soil underneath our feet, and we're drinking the water from underneath our feet. So therefore, why would I want to destroy our soil here by giving them all kinds of crazy stuff? In here, we're still working on more stuff. Still have way more work to do, folks. Work never stops. I know some of y'all are asking, what's happened with those bud grafts? You said that you were going to move up if you actually got one to pop. Man, we're still waiting, y'all. Still waiting. I don't know the secret. Someone out there does. They're still brown. Nothing really popping just yet. It's tough. I ain't even going to front. This one's tough. I thought that would have been looking better by now, but still holding, you know, just holding still. Holding still, folks. I can do the other way still, you know, put the scion in there, and that's all right. But buds, no, not yet. I know. Chocolate pudding fruit. All these little grass will be up potted here shortly, and they'll be ready next year. Look no further. You know exactly how they were grown. And again, without a bunch of crazy stuff. You can come out here next week and you'll see them sitting right here again. You know, I am not coming out here, and you're not going to see them double in size in a week. So yeah, that's not something that I'm wanting to do, is push my little girls into becoming too big for their britches too soon. Still waiting on some of these top of, I don't know, 8 that I did on here. 7, all the rest of, I don't know, 8 that I did on here. 7. All the rest, nothing. So it is a numbers game. And that's also your trees, right? You can also have 5 trees from the same place. You feed them all exactly the same. Some of them may take off more than the others. The other ones may be duds. So there is that as well. I like to, again, grow my stuff as early as possible here because I get to control the food. Controlling the food on the trees is super crucial out here because if you pump them too fast, well, you're going to create that attic and you better have a lot of fertilizer to keep them happy, right? If you got a ton of fertilizer and time and you're willing to go ahead and spray and do all that stuff, do your thing. Not me. I don't want to sit here and spray every day. Last thing I want to do. Maria on Pickering will be up potted here today. It is that time on Pickering, and I am up potting a lot of my stuff right now too. This is the one that I wanted to show you. This is promising, possibly, only because, can we do it? That's starting to come out a little bit there. And that one is starting to just come out a hair. I don't know. It's all brown up there. There's still more research that needs to be done. And that one's starting to come out just a hair as well. These are Valencia Prides. Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Whoa, it all goes down. What happened there? Hopefully I'm still going. 42 minutes in here. Who's going to watch this after 42 minutes? Y'all are wild. I didn't even know I was talking for that long. Anyways, it's Saturday. We got gorgeous weather out here. I'm open till 6 today. And check it. This is the last day. Well, here's another one. Let's see that one. It's the last day that we're open till 6. What? For the year. Yes, yes. Tomorrow we change our clocks. We fall back. Ooh, I know, I know. It's the worst time of year for all of us. That one's looking better. Starting to come on out. Maybe, just maybe, I will have my first bud graft. Did that one and this one here. That one doesn't look as great. Can we focus? Can't. Yeah, that's going to work. Can we focus? Yeah, that's... Jury's still out on that one. Yeah, and this was an older rootstock. As you can see, it's got more of the bark color. So, yeah, and in retrospect, you're supposed to try to do it with something that's a little bit younger, but I'm over here swinging, and I'll keep blocking it. Yeah, I'm swinging and seeing what happens. Some are great, some not so much. This is Gary, still green, pushed off some growth on the top, and it all fell off, but it's still holding in there. We got some confidence that it'll push through. But yes, folks, you weren't born with a green thumb. None of us were, right? You just keep putting seeds in the ground, keep feeding them, but water. Water is crucial, right? Water is one of those elements that these girls have to have. You dry out these pots and see you later. They are gone. You overwater them and let them sit in their own juices and they're gone. Some of these can take wet feet, some not so much. So it depends. But I'm out here watering daily and again, feeding weekly. Now, if it's one that I just get in, you got to feed probably every 3 days to start. So that way they don't flop on you, but you can do it, folks. You can do it. I believe in you, And once you do it and you start feeding the leaves and you start seeing some really good green, you're like, wow, hey, this is not so bad. I can do this. And then you show one of your family members, what it is that you know. And then before you know it, everyone's eating good. So this is not the only way, right? This is just my way of growing this stuff with less. I don't want to have to spend a fortune on fertilizers. I guarantee that you don't either. They're only going up in price, and what's in it, right? It's all commercial stuff and this and that. And listen, if I can make it myself and get better results and have it being, as we're talking, it's being bred and being made right here, like, yes, please. With all of the good microbes in the soil, why not, folks? But anyways, we got all kinds of good stuff for you to come by and take a look at. All grown, well, not all. all kept here and supervised with lots of love. But we got jabos, we got herbs, and still have a few more peanut butter fruits, little seedlings, that is. And these also got a little touch in there too. So you'll see them go from yellow to green instantly, folks. I used to think that the sea kelp was like a green spray paint, and it is. It is, but I'm noticing that this compost is awesome as well. Only 4 more, yep, 4 more of these roselles, the towering ties, starting to flower up. So come on down. Could do $10 a piece. These are in 2 gallons as well. Very cheap, very good deal, folks. It's the last of them. That will be it until next year. Lemongrass and such, but we got all kinds of different stuff. Open till 6. Tomatoes for $1. What? I know. But y'all can do this. This is not a hard thing to do. You can turn your thumbs around, right? I keep hearing it. Man, I can't grow. I can't do it. And it's like, if you start with the stuff that is very easy, like these mulberries, you'll build that confidence. These you can't kill. If you kill this, we're going to check your pulse, because if you kill a mulberry, I don't know, man. I think there's I don't know if the cops get called or someone comes over to your house and has a conversation with you. I don't know what happens, but if you kill a mulberry, there's some questions, right? This is very easily grown. This is child's play, right? Excellent in containers. Also easier in the ground. These things are like weeds. They grow very easily here. Take all of our temps and whatever it is that you throw out. I know. Don't touch the fruit, please. Don't touch it. Don't do it. I'm out here collecting more of these roselles as well. Still got some holding on here. Small batches, all that we have left, folks. This girl just got upgraded. Who is she? We gotta know. She kept falling over on me. Kept falling over on me in a 15-gallon. So up she went. Phoenix. I don't know much about her besides she's very vigorous. She's been here. You try to kill a mulberry and couldn't. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, they are tough. Now, people worry about the roots, this, that, and the third. I haven't grown them around any sort of structures, my home or nothing like that. So I can't tell you much about the roots besides in the ground, they're very easily done, right? And grown in pots. But up by the house, I try not to plant anything too big or vigorous. Phoenix mango, this thing started growing super fast, and every other day I'm picking her up off the ground. So up into the 25 she went. From what I've heard, she's a shy bear, but if the flavor is that great, can she stay here? I don't know. Yep. This one says, yeah, mulberries are excellent. Mulberries are a great fruit that most people can get done in small spaces, and it will build that confidence for you. Let me grab some breakfast, folks. Let's see what we got here. Not so bad. Sometimes these get a little bug bitten. Off the plant is nice too, but off the ground, just kind of go and check them out, see how they look, and if they're good, you eat them. What? Yes, man, you got to get them microbes in you. See that? They're just falling down from the plant. Not too much wind today, so I'm thinking some will actually hold. You can come out here and grab a quick little handful this time of year. A ton of little gnats down here. That ain't good. They're just taking them down. That's part of the process. But get your vitamin C on. Did I give this some compost tea? Yes, sure. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Here's one over here that's hiding. I just saw him right here. We'll eat that one there. That's a little bit better. And there's 2 or 3 seeds in some of these, so be careful. Do I wash them with chlorinated water? No, man, no. Why would I do that? But, a little tart still. What's that bucket? Uh-oh. We're back, folks. We're back to messing with the mosquito dunks. Yeah. Yep. So mosquitoes are back in season. Well, they never stop here, but I went ahead and grabbed some more mosquito dunks, give it a little bit of water, put some organic matter in there, and they basically go in there and lay their eggs in it, and the BT in the dunk basically kills the larva and doesn't allow it to escape. So that's always fun. Check this one out. Another success on the compost tea. So this is a Sabra that I got. Man, I thought that was going to work, but no. That's a Sabra that I got, and this thing was looking sad, folks. It had the brown tips. It was looking like she wasn't going to make it. She was complaining. Look, who else shows you the truth out here? Come on now. Look, all these limbs, all the leaves fell off. It was like, man, she was looking very sad. I'm like, dang. So I put her over here in some semi-shade and was like, well, say a prayer, and if she makes it, she does. If not, whatever. But lo and behold, I gave her that ooey tea, and now look, boom, new growth, coming out great. She's back. You know what I mean? You can't fake this. This isn't something, and I know to some of y'all, it's like, dude, what's the big deal? You're just giving them nutrients. I know, but listen, when you see them naturally just explode with like goodness, you get giddy inside. I'm sorry, I'm a grower. This is what we do here. And when you see quick results like that on the cheap, you got to tell somebody, right? That's how I feel. Maybe some of y'all would keep that as a secret. You'd put it in a book and then sell the book. No, not me. That's not what we're doing here. We're telling you for free. See that? Who else wants you to become more successful than them, right? I want you to be a better grower than I am. But no, you don't even want to listen. No, I'm just kidding. My dad joked, if an apple had a worm and you accidentally ate it, it was just extra protein. That's it, man. All the bugs out here, as bad as you don't want to sit there and eat a fruit fly larva, but if it happens, hey man, it's protein, right? And that's what we chase. Things are getting beautiful over here though. This one got a little bit of foliar feed, and look, just looks good, man. Looks good. Are they getting all kinds of synthetically charged nutrients? No. Here's another one. Here's the Blanca Jabo, looking a little bit yellow. Wait, I haven't used any yet. She has not gotten any of the compost tea. Give me just a few weeks and I will show you this one back again, and watch how it goes from this yellow to a darker green. This one got some. Look at the difference. This is the red hybrid, and I went ahead and gave her just one little dose, and you can already tell from that green to that lighter one. Now, some would say this is a newer growth and that's part of it. I get it, but listen, the green, you can't sit there and lie about it. You can't make that up. It's a different shade of green. I know my lighting down here is different than yours, and maybe it's a Florida thing. I know. Maybe it's just my bad eyes that are playing tricks on me. But once you see this color, the change from being on death's door to, wow, she's coming back and springing back to life, like, you can't fake that, y'all. This is the truth. I'm sorry. Some of y'all don't want to hear it. You can't handle the truth. Listen, Donnie Avocado was down on her luck. She was down. Look at this. Only 2 little branches, froze back in the winter 3 years ago. Scrawny little stick, lost all of the inside. And now I gave her 2 applications and she's coming back. All of my avocados in here are starting to come back. Fantastic. Looking pretty green here. Everything is looking healthy. I'm going to start feeding. Look, here's the Super Julie. A little bit yellow, but give me a little bit. I'll work on this one too. And before you know it, it'll go from this to that. Right? That's Sweet Tart, Super Julie. And watch, you'll go, whoa, it just totally got really dark green and it looks totally healthy now. Yes, it's the little things. Micronutrients help. You just want to give it the NPK all day, good luck. You'll have great fruit as far as abundance. Yeah, they will be big and juicy and full of water and I guess, but eat it and then tell me what you think, right? Where's the flavor? There's no nutrients. That's why. It's just NP and K. That's what we get at the store, right? And then when you eat it, you're like, that sucks. Look at this, man, more holes. I just was out here covering everything up. But we're getting some new growth here and there. Things are looking green. Here's another one, Rollenia. You will see these leaves looking quite sad. And just wait, a couple applications, all these girls will be bouncing back, and you're going to think, wow, man, he is the Rollenia grower. He's putting on all kinds of new flushes over there. Just wait, just wait. Don't worry. It's not how you start, it's how you finish, folks. And I'm telling you, I'm going to make a believer out of at least one person. I don't know. Everything is looking great. And again, grown as naturally as possible. I don't want to say organically, but we're getting there. We're getting there to really show people that, hey, anybody can do this. You don't need a college degree. You don't have to be a master gardener. You don't have to take any sort of courses. You can be a geek off the street, turn on your YouTube and learn something for free. Yes, free 99. You don't have to sit there and blow a bunch of loot, learn from this or do that or take these notes. Listen, hang with me. We'll teach you a thing or two. Angie, she got some sea kelp on them leaves, and actually she was way yellower than this and much better. See the difference? That's lemon meringue and Angie. There's a difference in that color there. She will be getting greener and she will be getting up potted as well. Thinking I'm hearing somebody? Let's find out. But folks, beautiful day here. Off we go. I think I've already ran my mouth too much. And did we lose everybody? I lost connection. As natural as possible. That's the way we try to do it here. We're not trying to go ahead and reinvent the wheel, but we are trying to grow some food in a better way. Not saying my way is the best way. I'm still learning, folks. I'm not telling you that I'm a pro, an expert. Oh, I've been doing this forever and a half. No, no, no. Literally still picking up the pieces here, but we're learning, and the more we learn, the more you learn. Hang with your boy. Come on down and see us. We're here this weekend. Tomorrow, 12 to 5. I know, Sunday, 5 o'clock. If you need more time, call me, let me know. We can schedule you up with an appointment. Appointments are preferred, of course, but walk-ins are cool too. Surprise me, say what's up, as long as we're open. No Mondays and Tuesdays. I know. People stop in here wanting to get in here because they were just in the area. No surprises, folks, sorry. But give me a call, let me know way in advance, and maybe we can do something, all right? Anyways, have a great weekend. Get outside. It's beautiful. No neck fan. No, nothing needed today. It's beaut. But anyways, God bless. Have a good one. Love y'all.